Hi guys, I'm Shmi, hello and welcome back to the channel where it's a beautiful day here in Las Vegas, but sadly it's time to say bye-bye. It's time to say goodbye to my AMG GT Black Series, the last driving leg of this fabulous tour in the United States, but we're going out with a bang today. We're going to be heading about 400 miles driving with a certain familiar bright green Aventador. James, the Stradman, that was the startup by the way, of a Lamborghini Huracan Spider, because we're here at Royalty Exotic Cars, where we're setting off from Las Vegas after SEMA. We have all of the hotels of the Strip over that away, Cosmo, Bellagio, Caesar's Palace, the Mirage, but we're driving back to Utah, the beautiful state of Utah, where my car is going to be residing for the short term. Now along the way I want to talk about the costs so far, how the car has fared, what I'm going to be doing next with the cracked windshield, and a few other things about the plans ahead of us as well. But it's been amazing, it's been a lot of miles. Wait until I show you how many this car will have on the odometer later in this video when we park it up. But yeah, the last drive, the last leg on the road in the United States for now with the GT Black Series. The first thing to update you on is what is happening with this that you might have seen. I got a stone chip right here in the middle of the windshield, quickly expanded into a crack running right across the center. Not ideal because I can't just directly replace it with one that's out here. Being a right-hand drive car, all of these sensors and things are off towards the passenger side, the left, the opposite of course of a left-hand drive car where they would be off to the right. So you can't just grab one off the shelf and stick it in. And the Black Series glass is actually different to the regular AMG GTR glass, which is already different, I think, to the regular GT glass. It's very complicated, but to hopefully keep it in one piece for the time being, Houston and the team here at Royalty Exotics actually did a repair on it, and even though we're out in the sunshine, it doesn't seem to be expanding any further. Fingers and toes completely crossed that we're going to make it back without that becoming a bigger problem later on, before we can work out what's next with it. But for the drive, we are taking the Solar Beam Beast, which has done something like 5,500 miles since we set off from New York City about a month ago, joining James in his newly wrapped bright green Aventador Coupe, the car that is of course orange underneath, that I've seen and filmed with and skied behind in the past in fact, but it was wrapped live during the show, which was super cool to see the transformation. Absolute winning spec with the white wheels against the green. It's a very similar colour to my GT500 and to the Porsche 911 GT3, but this car has done a lot of miles. We've had a tyre change along the way. It probably is going to be due a service at some point very soon. It obviously now needs a new windscreen as well, but that's not all about this. We've got a little bit of a fuel problem to think about today as well. We'll be setting off from here with about half a tank of 100 octane. The last couple of tanks have all been 100 octane, which is good. It's what you need. It's about 104 RON on the European scale. But 400 miles is more than we can drive in a single tank, which means we're going to have to do something to keep average up. If we fill it now with about, well, the other half of the tank of 91 octane, we'll then be able to drive pretty much all of the way and average 95, 96, which is what you need. So that should work out roughly as we need it to. But I want to run over some of the costs, because I don't think a whole lot of people drive 6,000 miles in a month in an AMG GT Black Series. I know of a factory car that has 100,000 plus, which is absurd, but I don't think there's another customer car that's done quite this many, including Tail of the Dragon in Tennessee, including a track day at Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, and so much more as well. So we need to make sure everything's set to go, and then it'll be time to hit the road, probably with some fun along the way. We shall see how that goes before telling you a little bit more about the plans ahead and what's going to be happening with it when later on I'm going to be handing the key over to James. It's going to be in his possession for the near future. Let's see how that's going to be. Anyway, let's get ready and hit the road. Huracan Evo Spider from Royalty Exotics. That is a way to get around, definitely here in Las Vegas. There's also a Ferrari F8 Spider sitting right beside the Bentley Continental GT convertible there as well. Yeah, what a place. We've had a lot of fun with these, but it's going to be time to get on the move.
You guys are looking a bit suspicious.
No, you're the one that's suspicious.
We're just chilling. Nothing's happening.
No?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. I might be buying an LM002.
Oh, well, that's kind of cool.
That could happen.
Oh, nice. Well, Houston, thank you for your help with my car.
Oh, of course, absolutely. You got a nice little windshield to give you some company on the way back to Utah?
Yeah.
At least it's still in one piece.
There have been better days.
Yeah. Well,
my apologies because it appears that it was a rock from my A12, so sorry, Tim.
It could be, it might not be.
It might not be, we'll never know. There's no way to know.
That's awesome. All right, guys, have
Sweet.
fun.
Thank you.
Cool. Let's
Drive ahead, let's go.
Let's do it. Thanks,
You left him hanging.
You left me hanging.
That's not bad. You said you're a legend. Thank you. Genuinely. Thank you so much.
Come on then, let's hear it start up. Let's get the noise.
You need a Lambo. You need a V12 Lambo.
I mean, I was gonna say, I had a Lambo.
Right, but you need a V12. It's different. It's different.
One day, right. Let's join. It's go time. Let's hit the road.
Right, let's get this started. Now, one thing I have mentioned before is that when you start it, it will give me that pop-up, traffic sign assist inoperative, because it can't read American signs. This hasn't got any bigger, which, given it's been out in the sun for a while, is actually brilliant. I thought that could have expanded just while we've been parked here for the time being, but thankfully not. It is very much lemon and lime with these two together, the yellow and the green, citrus coloured supercars. Two very different supercars, to be honest. I think you'd probably either be an Aventador person or be, you know, a track-going Black Series person. They serve different purposes, but step or stop one is going to be some food, because it's gone lunchtime. We've not had any lunch, so we need to get that done before the long leg begins. It would appear we've driven about 200 yards up the road, and like all good American road trips, we're going to In-N-Out Burger. This is quite the driveway dip, so I'm going to hang back just for a second, wait for it, and then try and ping across and safely make it in. Aventador and GT Black Series. Okay, we're going to have a wheel up in the air. Yep, 100%. We've just had major twist. Yeah, that didn't break the windshield anymore either. Okay, let's go. Catch James up here somewhere. Go park up. Go grab ourselves a double-double. In-N-Out done, but back to royalty for something that we forgot. So, small change of plans, and then we get on the long drive, although fill up before long. Right, let's move. This says 41 degrees Celsius. It's clearly not, that's just been out in the sun. It's toasty though, especially for this time of year. Really toasty. I'm gonna go this way, just to be difficult. Just to be different, maybe I should say. Oh, all right. All right, Spider. I think we picked the better route. Cheeky. Lambo drivers. Oh my goodness, there's a yellow Ford GT here. How cool is that? And the green GT3 RS. Ah, I'm gonna park next to the yellow Ford GT actually. That's cool, I did not expect that. A very welcome surprise right now. I just don't want to drive into it while I'm reversing. I can't see it at all. Well, how about that then? Two very different yellows, but new GT in yellow looks awesome. One day I'd love an 05 in yellow, yellow with black stripes. I think that would be just about perfect. Well, I'm very pleased we came back now, seeing these two side by side. The more mustardy yellow of mine and the bright yellow of the GT. No stripes on this one, black wheels. Obviously I would be a little bit biased towards them. Very, very welcome surprise on our little return there. Would you check that out? Cool pair. This is where we head out to join the highway then. The last view of the Las Vegas Strip hotels for this part of the trip, because we're only going temporarily to Utah with the car. We haven't done California. The original plan was to head actually on this trip about now out towards San Francisco, maybe down towards Los Angeles, and we haven't been anywhere. And of course, there's so much to go and see and do and videos and stuff to share with you guys. So obviously California is going to be in the plans for the future, and I'll give you a better idea at what I have in my mind running through for our future destinations and stops a little bit later on. For now though, we are out north, Salt Lake City, destination Utah. Off we go. Farewell, Las Vegas. It's been real. This is about to be quite fun. We're going to hit 11,000 miles, but before we do, we've got an Aventador to our left, and actually right now, check this out. Off he goes, then look at the dash, 11,000 just happened, just a moment before. 11,000 miles. Nice. Anyway, we got a fuel stop pretty close up ahead of us, 5 miles or so, and then it will be onwards, but we're out in the middle of nowhere, it feels, as we make our way to Utah. We're now in Arizona, and the scenery here is unreal. Of course, not too far afield from the Grand Canyon, but I'm not sure if you can see over my shoulder as we open up here, just the sheer sharpness of the rock formations all around. Crazy place to be driving as we just cruise up through the valley onwards to Utah, next state on today's journey. Welcome to Utah. So we are in the beautiful state of Utah, and I mean, look at this view immediately out in front of us. Stunning. As we make our way onwards with more of these views, we're currently driving through the Zion National Park, although we're basically just out of it, and Utah just has these endless views on views, as James would say. I want to talk a little bit more about some of the costs of this journey to date. So we have now done about 11,100 miles. By the time we arrive in Salt Lake City, we will have done about 11,350. The car was on 5,577 when we started. So it is literally 5,800 miles later. Now, admittedly, there's one more tank of fuel to go up ahead of us, which will hopefully be the 100 octane for about $120. But I've been adding up what I've spent so far, and that is $1,780. So it will be about $1,900 for this first half of the tour on fuel. A little bit more than I thought, but we've also driven 1,000 miles more than I thought as well. In terms of hotels, we've actually done really very well, because we've managed to stay with a few friends, like stayed with James for a couple of days, stayed with a few other friends along the way, Triple F for example. So it's averaged out below the $300 a night that I was budgeting at the beginning, and that was even based just on Marriott's and Hilton's and fairly, let's say, regular, comfortable, but regular hotels, nothing too crazy or over the top, because of the extent of time that we're going to be on the road and not wanting to go too crazy with it. One big thing, though, was to eke out so many more miles on the original Cup 2R tyres than I thought. I had expected to change them very early in the adventure, kind of when we had just arrived in the United States, and then potentially have to need to change them again, more like now. So I've effectively saved a set of tyres and had some Cup 2s as opposed to Cup 2Rs slightly more cheaply at Envision. I think it was about $2,300 for the set of 4 Cup 2s, the full set, including obviously fitting, balancing and all of that to make sure that they're good to go. So we're actually doing pretty well when it comes to the costs of this journey. When it comes to how well we're doing in terms of budgeting, we could say, hey, the Aventador's right back alongside. With the double wing up, it lifts up the lower wing for the cooling, obviously with the upper wing kind of attached to that. As the sun sets against the citrus-coloured supercars on the highway on the way towards Salt Lake City. I mean, we've done pretty well. I'm quite happy with how all of this has resulted, and it's a big thanks as well to James that I'm going to be able to drop the car off with him, which saves from some storage costs, depending where exactly we take it and what we do with it, where we put the car at the other end, all of these kind of things. Flights obviously were very expensive. Flying right now is crazy money. To travel intercontinentally, to travel across the pond, across the Atlantic from the UK to the US, pretty much however you do it is big cash. Not obviously even paying for first class or anything like that. I actually got lucky and had a free upgrade from Premium Eco to Business, which was quite fun. But yes, doing quite well on the expenses of the whole adventure side. And as we cruise back past, so cool, so cool. But there's a lot more to go. There's a lot more to go. And I had originally talked about, you might remember, when I said that the whole trip would cost about $57,000. That's what I calculated, including the shipping for the car and everything along the way. That was based on 2 30-day adventures. Because we haven't done California yet, I'm thinking it might become a 3rd part, but we'll see how that evolves. I'll explain a little bit more about the stops that I have in mind when we get to the other end. But for now, hey, the moon's just popped up over the top of the mountains over there. It's a cruise. It's a leisurely cruise the next 2.5, 3 hours or so into the dark to get to the garage to get this car safely parked up. Well, jump ahead a couple of hours. We are now not too far from the destination, but we are stopping here at our favourite, most frequented filling station at the moment, because I happen to know that they have 100 octane, which is exactly what we need. And this time around, we're going to go to the right place immediately, rather than drive around in circles. Straight up here, go find the good stuff that we need, Perfect. All right. And it's still $9.99 a gallon. Anyway, success to this point. We've made it. Here we are, back under the arch. Aventador going round. We shall follow, and we'll get these cars parked up inside. That has been a long drive, but we're here now. We are here now. In comes one green Aventador. Here at the garage. That's actually really loud in here. That was long.
That was so long. It seemed faster going down than coming back, right?
Even though when we went down, we were in the snow.
I know. I think it's because of the excitement, the adrenaline.
Yeah.
This was just long and boring and took forever.
After long days at SEMA.
Yeah.
And driving in the rain. Like, let's not forget, we've just been driving back in.
I just hit 30,000 miles on my Aventador, though.
30,000.
30,000, yeah.
And I thought I was excited going through 11,000.
Well, this is a 2012. This is 10 years old. This is brand new.
Yeah, but even still, not many people have done 30,000 miles in an Aventador.
No,
I mean, I know you didn't own it from new, but you've had it for quite a long time.
I've had it for 5 years. So I've done 18,000 miles in it in 5 years. Not bad.
No,
not
many
amazing.
people have experienced 18,000 miles of a Lamborghini V12.
Yeah,
Plus, you've done some in that, and you've done some in that, and you've...
And that, yeah.
Yeah, and you might have been hunting down LM002s.
Well, I mean,
that was
maybe.
today.
That was today. That seems like forever ago. Yes, LM002 coming sooner than you guys think, but yeah.
Oh, really? Have you been on the phone while we've been driving?
No. No. I want to do it, but we got to wait until next year. We got to kill some time.
Yeah. So I need to run over a few things with this, get it unloaded and all of that ready, and then soon I'll be giving it to this.
Yeah, that's right. When are you coming back?
I don't know, but no, I'm holding it for now.
Okay. Soon.
We need to lay some ground rules.
So I need like a mileage limit. So you're gonna be gone for 2 months. So what does that mean, like?
Maybe. It might be less.
True, it might be less. We'll see. Maybe we'll see in a couple weeks. Knowing your schedule, who knows?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no like strange changes to the car, please, while I'm gone. I know what you're like.
I don't have a history. Whoa. My reputation does not precede me. Let's see, what could I do to it? You got an exhaust on this thing yet?
We've got an exhaust. We'll talk about it. And
What can I prank you with? That's ridiculous.
Everybody's going to have to wait to see.
I really think chrome and pink is the move. I'm just saying. Chrome, pink, look really good. I'm just kidding.
Next time when I'm here, I hope the bug is back.
Yes, the Veyron should be back by then. Definitely.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's at service. So if it's not back, that's really, really bad for my financial future.
That means it's
a big problem. It's very, very expensive.
Oh, dear. Bugatti life.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
We have made it here then. Technically, I do still have a little bit of time before flying to get this all tidied up. But the last long leg, the last long drive with this car, and in fact, the final odometer reading, I feel like we've done this a few times during this tour, we are on 11,377, which given it was on 5,577, my approximation of 5,800 miles turns out to be exact to the mile that this car has driven so far. Now, a few things to touch on. One, of course, I planned in advance for this one. I have a C-Tech Smart Charger in a little travel pouch with a US plug, so I can plug this car in. So I'm going to make sure that we don't have any issues on that front with the battery, although I suspect James is probably going to be driving it while I'm not here. Windshield to come around to the front, and plans with that. A few options. Option one is just leave it. If it doesn't expand, it's not actually in the driver's eye line. Where this comes up to, okay, arguably slightly, but because you sit so low in the bucket seats, you're actually looking out at the windshield about here. You look under it. I don't notice it at all when I'm driving. So it's not good, but given the dilemma of a UK windshield, it's perhaps not the worst, and then I could change it when I get it back home. Other option we'll look into is what the lead time is to order one from a dealer here to get it shipped out and then to get it changed. It's doable, and if I'm not going to be back for a couple of months into the new year as the original plan, that might be the easiest option. We'll see. Now, talking route plans with this car, talking where it's going to go still, I mentioned earlier about going to California. The original plan was to drive to San Francisco, but we're kind of a few days behind schedule, so we don't have enough time for that now. I do, however, want to drive it on a bit more of a loop. So I'm thinking to go from here across, probably back via Vegas to San Francisco, down Pacific Coast Highway, Los Angeles. I'd like to go down to San Diego, up via maybe Thermal Club, across to Scottsdale, Arizona. From Arizona, across through Texas, Austin, Houston, Dallas. I'd like to go back towards Nashville, a few more things around the Tennessee area, across to Atlanta, a couple of people there I'd like to catch up with, down via Orlando into Miami. That's what I think will be part 2 of this tour. Maybe. Things change, plans always change. From there, I'm also thinking about doing maybe even a 3rd tour with this car, to not send it back straight from Miami, but to wait until the weather gets better in springtime to go back up the East Coast. So up from Florida, all the way up through South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, up towards New York area, perhaps across towards Illinois. I'd like to go through Pennsylvania, Illinois, perhaps even via Michigan along the way. There are so many places still to go, and I'm not exactly being precious with mileage. It's a car for driving. I want to keep it forever. I want to do as many miles on it as I can. I bought this car outright so that I don't feel there are any restrictions on it. It's my car, my baby, my toy to do whatever, wherever, whenever. And if that means, while it's here in the US, I drive it 15,000 miles, all the better. 15,000 miles, 15,000 smiles, 15,000 memories probably along the way. All of the track days, all of the different roads, all the different places, all of the different people. It's been the most amazing of tours to meet with so many different people. James here, of course, Cody Whistling Diesel, Nathan Unspeakable, the Triple F collection, so many brilliant stops. Even thinking back to when I was in New York City, the RM collection, Sean from Top Gear Imports, driving in the Mirage GT. Wow, that feels like a long time ago. A long time ago. But we're doing pretty well. We've got a route plan in mind. The car's held up fantastically, apart from the windshield. That's pretty much the only little niggle or thing to talk about. Outside of that, though, it's done what it's supposed to do. And people asked me at the start, why don't I do a tour like this with the Senna, with the SF90, with the STO, for example? But you can't take a month's worth of luggage. You can't rely on it for 6,000 miles or 15,000 miles, knowing that even if there is a problem, there are Mercedes dealers everywhere that you can sort them out. And you can't just drive the car in this way, this kind of sense of freedom. And AMG, Porsche, Audi, BMW, yes, okay, things do happen, but they give you much more reassurance than you have from a McLaren or a Ferrari or something of that nature. It's a different kind of thing. You know, if I was to bring the Zenvo here, for example, I can't drive 6,000 miles on the Zenvo for many reasons, for many reasons. And the luggage obviously is the big primary one of those. This has been mega. Huge thanks to Houston for his help in Las Vegas. Huge thanks to James for everything while I've been out here. All the different things that we've been up to together. This might not be the last though. Obviously the car is going to be staying here because there's a certain rally in the Middle East that I know you guys would like to see some coverage of, so stay tuned for that. Not the full rally, I'll explain all in the near future, but I will be taking part with a car that I'm going to reveal in the near future as well. And I've got another Gumball 3000 car that's waiting for me in Europe, in the UK, so best go collect that as well. I think there'll be one more update from here in the US though, before catching a flight onwards, but the last drive in this has been a long one, endurance for sure, and I'm certainly ready for a big rest tonight. That's it this time though. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Thank you for your support as always. I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.